You wake up in a world with no deodorant, no soap, and no mirror. Yet ancient women still left looking clean, oiled, and confident. You'd assume ancient women smelled awful and did nothing about it. Truth is, some routines were more obsessive than anything you do today. Entire economies were built around scent and skin. Traders crossed deserts and oceans just to deliver the ingredients one woman needed for her morning routine. Now here's where it gets interesting. 9 civilizations, 9 completely different answers to the same problem, and almost none of them involved actual soap. Kate steps in as your guide through history's strangest beauty counter, walking you through civilization after civilization, starting with the oldest known routine on record. In ancient Egypt, women crushed frankincense, myrrh, and animal fat into thick cones and wore them atop their heads through the desert heat. As the day wore on, the cones slowly melted, coating hair and skin in fragrant oil that doubled as sunscreen, moisturizer, and hours-long perfume. Egyptian women also lined their eyes with kohl made from crushed lead ore and soot, believing it warded off infection long before anyone understood bacteria. But that was not easy. The same lead that darkened their eyes was slowly poisoning them, a trade-off no one at the time understood. Here's the detail nobody expects. Mesopotamian women boiled animal fats with wood ash centuries before anyone in Europe understood what soap even was. They rubbed the resulting paste directly onto skin and hair, cutting grease and odor with a chemistry they discovered purely by accident over cooking fires. Clay tablets from Babylon even record perfume recipes by name, meaning some of the oldest writing on Earth is essentially a woman's skincare journal. Turns out, the truth is even stranger. Those same tablets list cedar and myrrh blends still sold in modern perfume counters almost unchanged. Most ancient people had to improvise, and Greek women scraped sweat and dirt away using olive oil and a curved metal tool called a strigil. You coat your entire body in oil, work it into the skin, then drag the strigil across yourself, pulling grime away instead of rinsing. Greek women also crushed rose petals into vinegar and left the mixture in sunlight for weeks, creating one of history's first documented facial toners. But there's a catch. Pale, unblemished skin was treated as a status symbol, so wealthier women avoided the sun entirely, unlike the working class. Now consider what this really meant in Rome, where public bathhouses collected jars of human urine, specifically because of its cleaning properties. Women rinsed their mouths and skin with aged urine, since the ammonia inside it genuinely lifted stains and neutralized odor better than plain water could. Emperor Vespasian taxed public urinals so heavily that Romans coined a phrase about money not smelling, a joke that survives in language today. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. Imported Portuguese urine was considered premium, and Roman women reportedly paid extra for the stronger, purer batch. Here's what actually happened next in ancient China, where women mixed ground rice into water and let it ferment for several days before use. The cloudy, faintly sour water was massaged into the scalp and skin, and one recorded village of grandmothers kept hair black and thick past 90. Chinese noblewomen also crushed pearls into fine powder and blended it into paste, wearing it as an early whitening mask centuries before modern trends. But that's not the wild part. Pearl powder is still sold today, marketed almost exactly the way it was described 2,000 years ago. This is where the story splits, because in ancient India, Ayurvedic tradition treated skincare as medicine rather than vanity or simple appearance. Women ground turmeric, sandalwood, and neem into paste and applied it before weddings, believing the mixture purified skin and repelled infection at once. Here's the part historians still argue about. Turmeric genuinely fights certain bacteria, meaning a ritual dismissed as superstition had real chemistry behind it. Somewhere along the way, someone figured this out purely through observation, centuries before any scientist could explain why the paste actually worked. Think about surviving that climate without protection. Himba women in southern Africa coat their skin daily in a paste called otchais. Otchais is made from butterfat and crushed red ochre stone, and it shields skin from brutal sun while giving it a deep, reddish glow. Himba women never bathe with water at all, using smoke from smoldering herbs instead to cleanse skin, a a routine unchanged for hundreds of years. And once you know this, everything else makes more sense. The ochre coating also repels insects, meaning one paste solved 3 problems at once. But none of these routines compares to what happened in one particular country, where the strangest ingredient of all came directly out of a bird. Now here's the twist most people never hear. Kate reveals that geishas in ancient Japan actually washed their faces using dried nightingale droppings. The droppings were ground into fine powder called yugisu no fun, and they contain a natural enzyme that gently breaks down dead skin cells. Modern chemists later confirmed the powder contains guanine and protease enzymes, the same compounds still found in certain high-end brightening treatments sold today. Of everything on this list, the routine that sounds the most disgusting is also the only one modern science has fully confirmed to work. Kate stands among ingredients gathered from 9 civilizations, reminding you that none of these women lacked knowledge, only the modern tools you take for granted. You wake up again in that same hut with no mirror, no soap, and no deodorant, except now you know what she reached for instead.